Hello everybody, it's Stuart from Balance Health. I'm at Arcane, and wonderful Alex was kind enough to help me and let me use this space, and I'm in Ubud, Bali, doing a little short video here for you on inspiration. So where do you find your inspiration? Music, a good movie, a good friend, good teacher. What about books? So I'm finishing up 2 books. One book I finished and one book I'm almost done. Hopefully you've heard of the Bhagavad Gita, a very famous book in the Hindu and yoga world. But this one is an interesting take. This is the Yoga of the Bhagavad Gita by Paramahansa Yogananda. I love Paramahansa Yogananda. Hopefully you've heard of the famous book Autobiography of a Yogi. It's one of my favorite books. If you have not read it, I would highly recommend it. But this was a great read. Some wonderful insights. Spiritual, of course, from a great Hindu yogi saint who came to the United States. I think it was in the 1930s. He was famous for trying to bridge the East and the West, and he talked about the word, I think he believed he used the word science of God realization. And of course, the path of yoga is a great key piece for doing that. So I do highly recommend this book, The Yoga of the Bhagavad Gita by Paramahansa Yogananda. The Bhagavad Gita is the story of Arjuna and Krishna. If you do not know, Arjuna representing the better aspect of us human beings, Krishna representing God, and the conversation between the two of them as Arjuna is getting ready to go into battle and is hesitant to express himself on the battlefield and even kill relatives on the battlefield. And basically the conversation that ensues between Krishna and Arjuna, basically telling people to step up to what a yogi or a Buddhist would call dharma, your responsibility. There's a level of integrity and how you choose to live your life. And I found it quite touching. Of course, the Bhagavad Gita is a great book, which I read years ago, but it was wonderful to see a different insight and perspective by Paramahansa Yogananda. For example, one short little takeaway that he takes on the book, which I found fascinating, he states, he believes that the soul, or what a yogi would call the Atman, or soul, enters the body via the chakra system, and when you're ready to leave the body, it exits through the chakra system, which I found fascinating. Maybe I'm a yogi geek, but it was many, many fascinating things. Again, integrity, I guess, would be some of the words to take away from it. Your responsibility, taking the time to have dharma, or integrity in how you choose to live your life. So that is a great book. I found inspiration and found it touching. The other book I'm almost done is the Emerald Tablets, the Compendium of the Emerald Tablets by Billy Carson. If you don't know Billy Carson, he's brilliant. He's alive today, unlike Paramahansa Yogananda, who's passed and left his physical body. Billy Carson is still incarnated in his body. Bright would be a simple way to put him. He's brilliant, I would say. He has, if you haven't checked out his company, one of his companies is called Forbidden Knowledge. You'll always see him holding up his 4 fingers, the Forbidden Knowledge. So he's the author of that. It's an online video company. I think he's written other books as well besides the Compendium of the Emerald Tablets. This is the first book I've read of his, but I have seen him many times on Gaia.com. If you haven't checked out Gaia, highly recommend it. It's a great platform. Billy's been on there quite a few times. Articulate, sharp, brilliant, talks about ancient civilizations, etc. But what is the Compendium of the Emerald Tablets? It is the Emerald Tablets are believed to be left behind by Thoth, or Thoth, Thoth, which was, they believe, one of the key, or if not the head priest of Atlantis. After the Great Flood, or what's known as the Younger Dryas period, he was assigned the duty of rebuilding civilization. So, not a small undertaking. So he's attributed to creating the Great Pyramids, and he talks about a lot about the halls of Amenti, which Billy Carson has talked about for quite a while. And it looks like science is now discovering this underground, I don't know if I can call it a city or complex, below the Great Pyramids, where great wisdom supposedly is held. Now, in the Compendium of the Emerald Tablets are believed to be somewhat like emeralds left behind on these writings 15 tablets, 13 original and 2 additions to it. And in it, Thoth leaves behind, if you will, ancient wisdom about civilization, about Atlantis, and about, again, how we live our lives. There's esoteric, for lack of a better word, wisdom in how we live our lives. Things like cymatics, sound and vibration. Science is now coming up with that. Quantum physics is now saying that our thoughts can actually affect reality. He goes into that as well. So there's many pieces of wisdom in there, as well as talking about Atlantis and talking about, for lack of a better word, dark versus light. He even uses the word light quite a bit to describe the path of, if you will, good and love and light versus the darkness. And even uses the analogy of just a single light can brighten a whole room. We as individuals who are on that path of waking up, if you will, I know for some people that's a scary word, but I think Billy and Thoth would approve the word of waking up and coming into that light within ourselves. We can indeed bring wisdom into the world. So 2 books I highly recommend. The Yoga of the Bhagavad Gita by Paramahansa Yogananda and the Emerald Tablets by Billy Carson. 2 wonderful books of inspiration. I'm going to be delving into, I'm finishing this one up in the next day or 2, and then I'm delving into 2 new books. If you wish to join me on the book journey, that again, find paths that inspire you. Nature, walking in nature, taking walks, spending time with friends, a good teacher, a good spiritual teacher. Scary for some Westerners to hear the word guru. A guru, music I find very inspiring. Nature is 2 are big, powerful ones for me, but also books. You know, we need to learn to use our mind. I was listening to some of information about Bruce Lee recently. Fascinating how many books this guy had. Yes, a great martial artist, but a brilliant man as well. But he was a lover of books, and I think obviously we hopefully realize the value of being able to think. Books are helpful in that. So my next 2 books, if you want to meet me on that journey, is the 10 Upanishads by Swami Shivananda. And I've been fascinated by him a long time. I read one of his books years ago. I found him very inspiring Swami. I was recently at his ashram in Rishikesh, beautiful to see. And the other book I'm going to be delving into is The Daily Buddhist, 366 Days of Wisdom by Pema Sherpa, who I've been hearing a lot about recently, and Brandon Barca. So those are the 2 books I'm going to be delving into next for inspiration and some thought, ways of thinking and being. Well, I hope you find this helpful and inspiring. Thank you to Arcane today, and again, Ubud, Bali. Come and check it out. People here are really sweet, and this is a great place to be. So come and check it out. Have a beautiful day, everybody.